What a mixed bag of a day. I'm seeing things up, down, all around, everywhere right now. We've got CleanSpark up, we got the warrants up, but we got Wolf, Huts, Cypher, Hive, all those things down. BitDigital also down. We got Mara up, Riot up, Iron up, Corsi up, BitF up a little tiny bit. But man, what a just all over the place, all over. I woke up, my account was up thousands and thousands of dollars. 30 minutes later, it was down thousands of dollars. Now it's back up a little bit. Like it's all over the place. What a ridiculous day. Anyways, today seems like it's going to be just noise. It's a noisy day. Let's take a look here. So this is CleanSpark. What I do like on the daily here is that we got a tap of the 5-day and we are seeming to get a hammer there, which isn't exactly at the bottom of the move, but it is near the bottom of the move. So if we print a hammer there today, I'd actually be pretty happy about that, especially with average force growing here. And the stochastic ribbons here, the fast one pointing up and the slow one about to turn green. I do like that. That does give me a sight of $18 again here on CleanSpark. And I think I'm right about that because if we go and we look at the warrants, those are up 26% today. Those are up significantly. And now that doesn't mean necessarily that CleanSpark is definitely going to go up or anything, but it definitely means that investors, at least in this particular asset, do think that CleanSpark is looking like it's ready to go up. Otherwise, they'd be selling this thing off, or at least they should be selling this thing off. That would be the proper psychology. Let's take a look here on the hourly. So I've said before, and I will say again on CleanSpark warrants, I'm done buying them for now. I'm not paying over $1 for them. So right here we got the 382 at $1.03. 618 down at 64 cents and all the way down at 37.97 cents. We got the 784 on the fib. So these are the fib levels. These are the fib levels I'd pay attention to. We could bounce here and go higher. If we fail there, we're coming all the way back down to the 60s. We fail there, we're coming back all the way down to 38. The only order I currently have open on my CleanSpark warrants is down at 38 cents, just before that green line all the way down at the bottom there. So that's the only order I have open currently on CleanSpark warrants, is to pick some up down at 38 cents. I may adjust that higher into like the 60s or 70s at some point if it feels like it's not going to go back to 38 and I do want to complete my my bag for CleanSpark warrants if I want to get it up to the point that I envisioned it would be. Let me get rid of some of these lines. But other than that, no, I'm not doing that. Other than in that scenario, I'm just sitting on the shares that I have of CleanSpark warrants and waiting. Now, I do foresee these things potentially going higher. Like I do see this 160 as a temporary high here, and it could go higher than that. If we go look at the Cypher warrants real quick, and let me go to the daily since this actually has price action on it. This thing frequently goes up, to these. I mean, it went to 270 something at some point, and then comes all the way back down to 160. Like it drops $1 or more, pretty frequently. And I mean, back here when I was trading it before, right, it went up to 250, came all the way down to 66 cents again before going up. Now, if we turn off some stuff and I draw some fibs on here, this might start looking pretty familiar. So if we come down to here, let's see. Now, this would have been the swing low, and it went lower than that. But since it took that out, all these lows, we're gonna go down to this low down here and see. Let's go there, and we're gonna go to this top right there. There we go. Yeah, 786 came down to the 786, did a little bit of bounce, and then boop, took off from there. So don't be surprised if at some point in the future we see that 786 get tapped on CleanSpark warrants as well. Okay. That's all I'm trying to say there. That doesn't mean that it's not going to go up to $5 first, right? Like it could. These things are wild and out of control. But I would not be surprised that once it like hit a high of like 253, it came all the way back down to like 38 cents, 60 cents, something like that. I would not be surprised at all to see that. Warrants are wild. And if you are not prepared for that level of risk, I would not get involved with them. These things could do absolute face ripping moves to the upside as well as to the downside. So don't I would not FOMO into these is what I'm trying to say. I would not FOMO into these. I'm very excited to be holding them. I'm very excited to be in them, but I am not paying over $1 for my warrants. Okay. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Just my opinions of these charts here. Let's take a look at another one, Mara. They've been buying Bitcoin. They've been getting rewarded for buying that Bitcoin. It's been on a tear for a while. Let's go to the daily. I like this where we are right now. Look at this. We're coming right up on my line and getting stuck there. I would like to break through that line. We break through that line, we're going into the 30s. Okay. We're going into the 30s if we break that line at 27.30. And if I come in here, yeah. And the 30s would, $30 would be right at the top of the daily fib cloud, which is just fine for me. We've seen Mara go above that thing in the past. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen this Christmas season. I have a new toy. So TradingView is doing its Black Friday deal right now. This is not a plug for them. They're not paying me. I just thought this was fun. So they do chart patterns. Look at this thing. Look at this chart patterns. Look at this. This is auto chart patterns. This is cool. It was what, like $220 for the year, something like that. Which, I mean, I use it anyways. So, I mean, the basic tier was like $80 less than this. So, I figured I'd go for it this year. And next year, maybe if I don't like it, I'll bring it back down to the basic, because I was on the basic package before. Anyways, or essentials, excuse me. I was on the essentials package and I went to the premium this year because it was not very much more. They had a pretty steep discount on that. Again, not being not advertising, not being sponsored by them in any way. I just did that this morning, and I thought this was a fun tool. Anyways, so they had a rising wedge. Look at this. It's saying that the target was all the way down here. That's not going to happen. That's negative money. Okay, 7 cents. No, that's not going to happen. That's a silly one. But sometimes they're spot on. So like this falling wedge, yeah, that could be real. And getting up to $41, yeah, that's possible. So you still got to take this with a grain of salt, even though they're doing the chart patterns for you. Like, you still got to take it with a grain of salt and see what it's actually saying in there. Like, oh, it's going to go to 7 cents. I don't think it's going to go to 7 cents. That's just silly. Oh, look at this bullish pennant, up pennant, and the target on this one is what? $32, which actually is not out of the realm of possibility in the near future, especially with them buying Bitcoin, and with that being just, let's see how far that is above the fib cloud. If it's like within 15%, it's very possible. It's really only 7% above the fib cloud. Yeah, that's possible. It could do that. Is it going to? I don't know. We'll watch. We'll see. I'm going to check these things out every once in a while, and I'll bring them forward when I see them and I think it's interesting. And you just saw a little bit of my Amazon purchase there. Yes, I am still fighting the bugs. It is still an ongoing issue. It is quite frustrating not being able to use a third of my house because I have to keep it sterile so I can continue to destroy those things. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, no, it's been like weeks and I'm still dealing with this. It's just so frustrating. Anyways, let's see. What else? Bitfarms is still kind of lagging down here. Let's go to the daily on this bad boy. Daily. Yeah, we're still getting, so it's squeezing right now. It is squeezing right now. It's getting a little boring. When things get boring, I get excited. So let me take a look here. I don't dislike where we are right now. And if we print a hammer down at the bottom of this move right here, especially if that hammer creeps over the 21-day moving average, which is at $2.15, I'd be feeling bullish on Bitfarms. Let's see if there's any chart patterns that TradingView can tell us about. Oh, look at that. There's so many of them. I love this. This is funny. Okay, so there was a falling wedge somewhere, and that could take us up to 282. And there is also a triple bottom that could take us up to 334. And then there's also this triangle here that could take us down to 2 pennies. So I would discount that one. I would discount the triangle. I don't see it going to 2 pennies. That is insane. That is just silly. That's not going to happen. Anyways, unless they go bankrupt, but they're not going to go bankrupt. Let's be real. So yeah, I'd be looking more maybe at this triple bottom, perhaps. I wish I could toggle these on and off. Like if I could go click on this and be like, I don't want this one on right now. I just have all chart patterns on. I could turn on specific patterns that I want to see. But let's see. Yeah, we have the falling wedge. So that's going to be, yeah, right here. You can see it right there. Boom. And we're coming out of that. That's actually pretty much played out, that falling wedge. And then we got a triple bottom, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. That's actually more than 3, but whatever. Yeah. And that could go up to 330. That's pretty cool. That's a fun tool. I'm going to be toying with this for a while here. Whoa, Mara's up 6% now. I bet my calls are doing super well on Mara. Let me take a look at that real quick. Let's see. My calls on Mara are doing very well. They're up $200 right now from last week. They were negative 50 for a little while this morning. So things are beginning to pick up. That's pretty exciting there. Let's take a look. Are there any others that we really want to look at right now that are like performing or doing anything extra, or just ones I generally want to check in on right now? Not really. Most of them are kind of in a pretty tight range. I know I checked on Bit Farms, even though it's in a pretty tight range, just because it's pretty popular. People like Bit Farms, and I've been pretty harsh on it. So I think I need to come in and do the analysis on that one a little bit more with a little more scrutiny, I guess, than some of the others. So Bit Farms, I like where it is right now. I could see this thing moving up into the high twos if this closes just above that $2.15 mark today. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. If you're in MicroStrategy and you have been and you got in at above $500, you are feeling some pain right now. And I have just bad news. It is looking like it's going to come down lower. This does not look like it wants to go higher right now, especially with the momentum getting weaker everywhere, even with this performing decent, like with Bitcoin down at 96,000, 4,000 away now from that $100,000 mark. Bitcoin needs to get over $100,000 before we see MicroStrategy go back above $500. That's just going to need to happen. I don't like this. So 786, this thing could come all the way down on the daily to 380 or 368.91, right? 368.11. It could come all the way down to 368.11 before we see a recommitment of the institutions, of the big buyers, of those coming through to swing it higher again. This was a wicked sell-off. It was 16% in one day. We're up 0.5% today. We got pretty close to that 786, so that it might be over, but I would not count out if Bitcoin goes back. See, that's down to 95,000. If Bitcoin goes to $90,000, I would not count out that 368 or even like a 320 level again on MicroStrategy here in the very near future before it starts to take off one more time. So that's MicroStrategy's not looking so good. I am in a put on MSTX that is worth thousands of dollars that I am significantly down on. So I'm right there with you. I got in on that day about halfway through this candle. I said that's probably enough, and it was not. I caught the other half of that candle on the way down in a bad way, and I'm kind of sitting in it just waiting for MicroStrategy to go back up, which I think it will, because I think Bitcoin will eventually break $100,000 likely before the end of the year. So I would expect MicroStrategy to be trading back up here around that 540 level at least one more time this year is what I'm looking for on MicroStrategy. If you're into the cryptos, those are all pretty much down today across the board. Solana, one of the worst performers here, at least on my list, this last couple of days here. It's just been slumping off. I think it has a date with the 21-day moving average down at 224. Even though we made a brand new all-time high at 265, I think we're going to come down a little bit. Let me see if there's any chart patterns in here. Let's take a look. Let's see if we got any patterns. Any patterns? I guess not. Still, no, yeah, I guess not. That's okay. We don't always need patterns. So let's take a look at market bias. That's all the way down there. Okay. Yeah, I think it's got a date with the 21-day moving average at 224. From there, I would assess and see if it's going to bounce from there. And if it does, I'd be very excited about it taking out 265 potentially. So we'll be watching that. Doge, I am looking for Doge to, wow, that's a lot of drawings. I should probably simmer down on that a little bit. Doge, I am looking at Doge to, if it breaks this line here, if it breaks that line there, I'd be looking for it to come to the 21 as well, down around 34 cents. Around 34 cents, I would consider another buy on Doge. Why would I consider another buy on Doge at 34 cents? Because that's where the 21-day moving average is. It'd be pretty standard for it to come hit the 21 and bounce and then take out this high here at 48 and potentially even hit 55 or 60 cents. I might do another 100% on my Doge here again if I can see it come down to 34 cents. If it doesn't, well, then I'm not too interested. Let's take a look here. NVIDIA is down 3% today. What is going on with NVIDIA? They beat their earnings. Are they going to come to the 200-day moving average at 134? I think they might. I think NVIDIA just might touch 134.43, which is the 200-day moving average. And that would actually be consistent with the momentum right now. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it tap that. And then from there, maybe come up. Hopefully it comes up. Hopefully the 200. We haven't touched the 200-day moving average since October. So yeah, let's see it come back down and touch it and launch, hopefully. What's the move down? That'd be a 12% dip. All right, yeah, no, that's not too bad. Too bad, not a 12% pullback's not too bad. Coin's up 2.74%. If you're in Con L, you're up more. I'm in Con L, so that's why I've been watching Coinbase a little more closely. I did get some questions in the last video about Coinbase, asking like, since we've got different methods of getting into Bitcoin and other exchanges and stuff are getting popular, wouldn't that cause issues for the stock price of Coinbase? And I don't think so. And I don't think so because Coinbase is the only publicly traded exchange that we have right now. They are also the only US-based custodian of Bitcoin for institutions. So Coinbase is the leader. Nobody's really eating their lunch yet. So unless another hotshot exchange comes to the stock market to be tradable with options and other such tools and other leveraged tools on it, I don't see any other exchange eating their lunch in terms of their stock price and basically just their money making ability overall. So yeah, if you want exposure to a crypto exchange in the stock market, it's going to be Coin. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. And let's see, how are they looking right here? So I don't love this toppiness looking right here between 285 and 340. I don't love that. I also don't like that my stochastic ribbons are starting to point down. And the average force is looking kind of weak where we are. If we lose 283, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come down to like the low 200s. This is looking a little toppy. Yeah, that's looking a little top. So we had an inverted head and shoulders that took us all the way up here. And this is, unless we can go back up above 333, Coinbase is looking a little toppy. Now, of course, we're in that euphorium area right now. We're in that banana zone where things don't always make sense. So I am going to continue to hold on to my Con L here as long as it's above 280, I think. As long as it's above 280, I think I'm in this thing. Below 280, I start getting worried about it coming down into the low 200s. And that's just how that is. All right. I think that's all I've got to talk about today. We've got a lot of other tickers, but none of them are super interesting. Clskw warrants up 29%. What a day. Those are just taking off. Mara is up 8%. It's going to hit that $30. Woohoo. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, SMLR. That was another ticker. Okay, SMLR. This is another ticker that's doing the MicroStrategy method, and look at them go. They're up 20% today. So that's another reason MicroStrategy has been kind of suffering a little bit. They've been getting a lot of copycats. So some of the money that was in MicroStrategy that was giving them a significant premium to Bitcoin is starting to find its way into these other assets like SMLR. Like there's another one too, but SLMR, Mara. There's one more I had on my list. Let me see. Let me find it real quick. There it is. ARLP. That was another one that's been buying the Bitcoin with a MicroStrategy-esque type of method, and some money has been finding its way to those tickers instead of MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy is getting some competition in terms of the strategy it is employing, and some of these other tickers appear to be eating their lunch right now. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio. Don't sleep on the sticker shop. That link is also in the description and channel bio, and have a profitable day.